Hello there, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for making time for us. This is Newsfeed. I am Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. For the next 30 minutes, I'll be bringing you up to speed with the latest that is happening in the counties, the country, the continent and beyond. But first, the family of the late Michael Ngumbao Jola, who was shot dead during a fracas ahead of the Ganda Ward mini polls in Malindi County, is yet to get justice. 9 months after his death, the family is now calling on the government to intervene. Take a look.
Pain and agony is still on the faces of the family of the late Michael Ngumbao Jola following his horrific death by an unknown person in presence of the police and elected leaders 2 days before Ganda Ward mini polls on the 15th of October last year. 9 months later, they have not received any justice.
Tunaiomba serikali jambo hili kama family tujue ukweli kile kilotokea siku ile, yule aliyompiga risasi na wale wote waliokuja hapa nyumbani kufanya fujo, hatimaye na Michael Ngumbao Jola kuaga dunia.
The family is now calling on the government to intervene and give them answers as to who killed their son.
Na hatimaye wale waliohusika watiwe mbaroni na kufunguliwa mashtaka.
During his burial, ODM leader Raila Odinga said the main aim of resolving issues with President Uhuru Kenyatta is to ensure no life is lost during elections.
Tulisema mimi na Uhuru hatutaki kuona kama maisha ya Mkenya yote tena inapotea kwa sababu ya uchaguzi. Na hiyo ni moja ya mambo sababu sisi tumeunda ile tume inaitwa BBI. Ili tumalize mambo kama haya.
Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi also came in strongly to say that Jola's murder case will determine whether politicians will continue killing in the next elections or not.
Lazima tuonyeshe kwa vitendo kwamba never again. Hatuna nafasi tena ya kuleta michafuko kama hii na vifo ndani ya siasa zetu. Na niposa vile ambavyo tutawachukulia wale maharamia wale muua Ngumbao, aidha mwanasiasa mwaka 2022 ataendelea kuua ama mwanasiasa mwaka 2022 atakoma kuua.
Reporting for TV47, my name is Nanok Loren.
Elsewhere, some parents in Narok County have now started taking their children to private doctors and nurses to conduct female genital mutilation. This has derailed the fight against FGM in the area, with the local administration now warning of tougher action and actions to those who are involved.
It has now emerged that some parents have adopted new ways of conducting female genital mutilation in Narok County by taking them to private doctors and nurses. This now hampering the fight against the vice in the area. According to UNICEF, at least 4 million girls and women have undergone FGM in Kenya. Overall, 21% of girls and women aged 15 years to 49 have been subjected to the practice. Narok County Commissioner Samuel Kimiti says his administration will work closely with relevant offices to make sure the culprits are brought to book.
Administration yangu kuendelea DCC, ACC, chief na assistant chief na mzee wa mtaa atawajibika katika eneo lake. Mimi kama county commissioner nitawajibika at the county level. DCC atawajibika katika sub county. ACC division atawajibika. Chief atawajibika location na assistant chief, and the assistant chief hapa ni himize. That is where the rubber touches the road.
As a victim of FGM, Narok County Assembly representative nominated MCA Mary Smart has vowed to pass a law in the assembly that will protect the girl child, saying she would not wish to see girls undergo what she went through.
I want you to contract young women and boys who are in this county. Wacha wasaidia hawa machief. Ndio wale machief ambao wanakula pamoja na wale communities ambayo ama wamama ama wazazi ama parents ambayo wanafanya hii FGM. Tuwe na other people that iwe macho yetu. Patia hawa kitu kidogo, watatukutuletea siri mingi sana. Ndio machifu pia wawe na watu wa kuwasaidia katika mashinani.
Narok County has been on the limelight of practicing the female genital mutilation among young girls. The Chief Administrative Secretary for Youth and Gender Affairs, Rachel Shebesh, has warned that the perpetrators risk being arrested and prosecuted.
But when it comes to FGM, there is a law, but we are not implementing. And that's why the president was clear. This program, I am telling you that we are here, I would like to say it is me and the chair who sat down and we did the magic. No. The president was clear. Go to the ground and talk to assistant chiefs and chiefs. Hata kutaka county commissioner na nyinyi mwingine. You wanted only two categories. Chief and assistant chief. Because the chief and assistant chief, I believe 99% of the time must be from that locality. So they know boma kwa boma ni wapi mambo inaendelea.
Shebesh toured Tesaru Girls Rescue Center in Narok and held a meeting with the county commissioner and area leaders.
Nzoia Governor Patrick Khaemba is now calling for an extension of the time given by the national government to county governments to set up 300-bed capacity isolation centers to manage coronavirus patients. Boniface Baraza with the details.
Speaking in Kitale on a tour of the county's teaching and referral hospital, which is under construction, Governor Khaemba said the process of acquiring equipment for handling emergency cases will take time due to the delays in procurement procedure.
So I know I'll not meet the 30 days. Tutaomba msamaha kwa rais kwamba we'll need maybe 2 more weeks to allow us have the equipment so that we now operationalize the 300 beds. The support services, the oxygen, the whatever, the water, you've seen they are there. The kitchens fully installed. The wards are really ready, the final court. You've seen even some theaters, some equipment are in, but the final equipment haijawekwa.
The president directed each county to set up at least a 300-bed capacity facility to address emergency cases of coronavirus.
Kwa sasa, we have ordered 300 beds, medical beds. We have ordered 20 ICU beds and ventilators also 20. Tumeitisha vifaa ya theater moja. Mtauliza theater ya nini na hii ni magonjwa ya COVID. Tuseme mama akiwa na mimba na ako hapa ndani, isolation, hawezi pelekwa pale pengine na anahitajikana kupasuliwa. Si lazima tuwe na pale ya kupasua. Ama huyu mgonjwa amekuja hapa na COVID lakini ana underlying condition yenye inahitaji apasuliwe. Lazima tuwe na hata pelekwa pale pengine tuwe na mahali ya kupasua.
This comes barely a day after Trans Nzoia County reported 2 corona positive cases in Kwanza sub-county. Boniface Barasa, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Moving on, Ainabkoi Member of Parliament William Chepkut has appealed to President Uhuru Kenyatta to consider appointing a member of the Keio community in his new position to replace former Finance Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich, who hails from the community. Chepkut says the Keio community has not been represented in government since the former CS was sacked.
I want to take this singular honor to thank His Excellency the President, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defence Forces, 5-star General, for negotiating, and we won the United Nations Security Council. We are sitting in the United Nations Security Council. Kenya now are the voice of influence in decision-making of the whole world. He did the campaign by virtual ICT infrastructure, Zoom, just but to mention a few. President Uhuru Kenyatta, we love you. We love Deputy. But I plead with you, appoint Cabinet Secretary to replace Henry Rotich. We as Keios, we've humbly declared today that we want a Keio to represent Keios. We want a Cabinet Secretary, irrespective, we don't mind, so long as because our position was taken away and rotated. So we want a position in the reshuffle coming. Please consider us.
Elsewhere, the national government, through the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage, has launched the Work for Pay stimulus package for artists, actors and musicians in the Coast region. This is in a bid to cushion them and those in the creative industry from the COVID-19 pandemic hit. Take a look.
Huo mradi ulikuwa na maana mbili. Maana ya kwanza ilikuwa kuelimisha raia juu ya hii ugonjwa wa COVID-19 pandemic, na maana ya pili ya hiyo mradi ilikuwa pia kusaidia wasanii au wale watu ambao wanahusika na mambo ya uchoraji, uibaji na mambo kadhaa.
The government provided 100 million shillings that were given to us, and now we are being generous and grateful for the things that the government has done to us.
From the coast, it's 10 minutes past the hour. Time for us to take a short break here on Newsfeed. I'll be back with more news after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsfeed. Thank you for staying with us. Now, a high-end hotel is set to be constructed inside Nairobi.
It's early in the morning in Nairobi National Park. The hippos chilling, waiting for the sunrise, and the birds are waiting to swim. This park, the only one found in a city globally, was established and gazetted by the government in 1946. The park occupies more than 11,000 acres. Initially, the animals from the park moved freely to their neighborhood without disturbance, but human-wildlife conflict became a norm around the park over time. And now, environmental experts say the trend is worrying. Godfrey Otieno Onyango is an environmental scientist and a lead expert with NEMA.
Glen bulk hunter imekula kidogo. Kuna hii SGR imeingia. Kuna hii invasive species imeingia. Tunasikia nyati zimetolewa wapi? Kutoka kwenye park ya Nairobi zimepelekwa Tsavo National Park. Swali ni hivi, yote ni dalili ya nini? Kuna mpango pengine tujui imefanywa park inakula tu pole pole. Vile miaka zinazidi kwenda park inazidi kwa kidogo. Alafu tutasema hatuhitaji park.
Continuous mushrooming of projects in the park have posed a threat to the ecosystem. The SGR and now the high-end hotel master plan. Environment enthusiasts are opposed to the hotel project.
Further construction is deliberately killing the ecosystem in Nairobi National Park.
The radiance of the morning light, the beauty soon to fade, the pure energy, the metaphor of virginity is now threatened by hard times. Nairobi's city human population has grown from thousands of people in the colonial era to over 4 million people today. That growth in human population has exerted pressure on many natural resources, and human-wildlife conflict have become a norm. A development that contributed to confining the animals to the west and south of Nairobi. Now, Nairobi National Park.
A wild animal is just like a human being. It will go through depression because it's aware that it's not supposed to be here this particular season. And when it's stressed, at the same time, the population is going to be affected.
The big problem which I'm seeing is that as we get closer to these animals, we shall experience more zoonotic diseases. Yeah? Zoonotic diseases are those diseases which are transmitted from wild animal to human beings. Okay? And the same with things like COVID, which has happened.
This park is home to over 500 bird species and different animal species like Cape buffalo, baboons, Grant's zebra, lions, impala, Maasai giraffe, and indigenous plants like acacia bushes, Olea africana, and many others. Maureen Some, a young environment conservationist who runs Wild Now Foundation, launched in 2019, says the expected hotel project in the park is a misadvised project which did not take into consideration the welfare of the life of animals in the park.
Furthering the construction actually will worsen the conditions of wildlife species, and probably even the population will reduce, when we already know that for you to have to improve on the tourism in Kenya, we need wildlife. If this is in the essence of improving the tourism experience, then I think we have failed as Kenyans. So as much as we are trying to deal with human-wildlife conflict, as much as we are trying to also improve on our tourism experience, let's also not forget what wildlife needs and what we as humans want for our economy.
The wildlife here enjoy their catch. Some are gazing and others Santa Leslie. The park is home, but fear is relief that this homely feeling could soon be gone. The home will soon get new visitors.
We do need to come up with ways to improve their experiences as tourists, but that doesn't mean we need to go ahead and interfere with the normal lifestyle of a wild animal. Wildlife needs space to be a wild animal. Wildlife needs to thrive in its natural habitat, and the best way to deal with improving the tourism experience is to improve on conservation.
This unique recreational facility that receives guests locally and internationally has left game drive lovers in a dilemma.
This park has about 38 lions, and one of the worst things about what we are doing to this park as humans is because you can come to this park all day long and not get to see a single lion. 100 square kilometers of land with 38 lions, and because of human activity, you can actually come and spend a whole day or two and not get to see lions because of the interference we're doing with this park. But despite that, it's a beautiful place to come to. There's many different places you can go to. There are picnic spots. There's places where you can come with your family and just enjoy family time. It's a nice place to just come, sit and just listen to the noises and sounds of nature and, just distress about what is going on about life.
Fencing the park, which is now 70%, and the construction of a high-end hotel inside the park will, in the long run, affect the animals and the vegetation.
And closing down on that corridor, fencing the southern part and making it into a confined area for wildlife will be nothing but a big zoo in the long run.
If you go to Hyena Dam, for instance, a lot of bird species we've lost a lot of bird species. We no longer have raids. Why? Because of pollution flowing into Nairobi National Park and all that. So there's a lot that needs to be done, in partnership with the National Environmental Management Authority, Kenya Wildlife Service, the ministry and all that, to help solve the situation.
For any project carried out by the government to meet the sustainability threshold in any ecosystem, it has to focus on the benefits for the posterity and the life of the creatures around it.
Sustainability is the ability to use our environment or resources in such a way that you don't compromise the ability of future generations to use the same or to enjoy the same.
We reached to KWS for a comment on the planned controversial project, but until the time of airing this story, we did not get any response. After posts online about the construction of a road within the park went viral, KWS denied the claim, saying the construction that is ongoing is being carried out by a local contractor who is improving the road, joining KWS headquarters to Central Workshop inside the park. Reynand Bonke, a friend to the park, highlights on possible alternatives that can be implemented instead of having new projects.
We have alternatives. Of course, there are some facilities that are existing within Nairobi National Park. We have the Nairobi tented camps, we have the clubhouse, we have the Rangers restaurant, all of which are supposed to be improved rather than bring in new development activities.
Ukileta kitu ambacho ni kigeni kwa mazingira ambayo ni ya wanyama, inakuwa unaharibu yale mazingira, kwa sababu hii nyumba ama hoteli haikuji kuongeza maisha ya wanyamapori kuwa bora, ila inaendelea kuchukua nafasi ambao wanyamapori wanaishi.
The future memories are here. The students pursuing environment-related courses are worried what the future holds for the park and for them.
Hatuwaoni wanyama siku hizi, hatuwaoni wanyama hata wakipita barabara kwa sababu hawana hiyo nafasi ya kukaa kama wanyama.
Nairobi National Park is part of us. Let's protect it.
Nairobi National Park is part of us. Let's protect it.
According to the Constitution, Chapter 42, any project that is intended in the park, the government has to involve the community through public participation.
I wonder where we carried out public participation. We cannot talk of online to be public participation. How many Kenyans have access to computers? That's a big question we need to ask ourselves. How many? And even if they have computers, we need something which is mandated. The communities which are living around the park, the people who use the park, they should be involved in this.
The stakeholders now want the government to take the park serious and protect against external forces that could send it to the oblivion.
We're just calling upon the government, especially the minister, Honorable Najib Balala, to try and find a solution rather than suffocating this park more.
Nairobi National Park is home to different wildlife species, but then at the same time, we as Kenyans are privileged enough to have a national park in a city that gives people the opportunity to go to their offices, and at the same time they can go for a getaway during the weekend.
Joash Onsare, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Joash Onsare, for that detailed report. Let's get to some international news now. And Malawi's opposition leader, Lazarus Chakwera, has been sworn in this morning after being declared the winner of the presidential election held on Tuesday. Chakwera was announced the winner on Saturday after garnering 58% of the votes. This comes after the Constitutional Court of Malawi annulled incumbent President Peter Mutharika's victory in May 2019, citing vote tampering, leading to the rerun of the election on Tuesday. Mutharika has, however, refused to concede.
Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera. I, Dr. Lazarus